What is going on, guys? I haven't made a video in a while, but making my return here. Trying to get back on the wagon with that. Hope you guys been enjoying the content up to this point. Today's topic that I wanted to discuss was the idea of insecurity, of secure today, vulnerable tomorrow, basically is how I would sum it up. And any of you guys who have been around security a little bit or have looked into it, or even if you haven't, you might have come across this topic basically, where you might be working with a piece of software and it's secure, and then all of a sudden it's not secure. Maybe they release a new version of the software. Maybe you're just like just a consumer. You're just on your computer, you have some software to perform any task. Maybe it's even Microsoft Word. Let's use that as an example. Actually, I think that's a pretty decent example. So let's say you're using Word and a new version gets released, and all of a sudden all these vulnerabilities come out. It's like, how does that happen, right? It was secure before, now a new version came out, and all of a sudden it's there's all these vulnerabilities. How does that happen, right? Well, if this example isn't too obvious, I guess, maybe some of you guys aren't familiar, but whenever you introduce new features into an application, that is one potential for new vulnerabilities, many new vulnerabilities, in fact. Any feature that you add has a chance of being vulnerable. So, for example, maybe you're using a piece of software and a new version comes out and they're like, well, now this new feature, you're able to upload your documents, and we will use AI, machine learning on the documents to look for certain keywords, and based on that give you a item preference to help you in shopping for on our site or whatever. I don't know, just coming up with some random stuff, right? File upload basically. Well, that could introduce all the file upload vulnerabilities that come with it. So maybe you can, an attacker could create a malicious file and upload that and get access to the servers and basically hack in that manner. Or maybe he can send just a huge file and cause a denial of service that overload the servers, slow them down as they're trying to process this huge, massive file, right? That's just one example. But the idea of secure today, vulnerable tomorrow is not just limited to new versions of software or new releases. It could also apply to something that's been out and hasn't changed year after year. Now, you might be wondering, because this is a little bit less straightforward, you might be wondering, well, how could that be, right? I mean, if it was secure and nothing changed, how could it all of a sudden be considered no longer secure? Well, this is a very fast-moving area. The attackers, really, they never sleep. So new vulnerabilities are being discovered all the time, every day, pretty much. Like I alluded to, or straight up said in some of the past videos, was that not a week goes by where there's not the next breach announced, the next hot vulnerability that's been found. This stuff is moving at a pretty insane pace, really, and so that is another way this could very much happen. I mean, heck, sometimes you hear in the news about an attacker that recently discovered a new vulnerability for Windows XP. Like, people are still playing around with this old technology and old software, old this, old that. So just because something is considered secure today does not mean that it will be secure tomorrow. I mean, and that's another reason it's so important that even as a consumer or whatever, that you keep your devices up to date, because sometimes those updates include very critical security patches to help keep you secure. But a lot of times there's like even 0-day vulnerabilities that have not been released. They're not known about. So the attackers, they can buy this information on the dark web, deep web, whatever you want to call it, in the underground markets basically, and they might know about a lot of vulnerabilities out there that like the general public isn't aware of. and then maybe eventually the general public catches wind of it, and now all of a sudden your software or whatever you're using is considered vulnerable. You got to hurry up and make patches to them. So that's the thing too. You might think you're secure because there's no publicly known vulnerability for your software you're using or whatever, but there might be some 0 days that are out there on the dark web. So it really is a tricky thing, and it's constantly changing, constantly growing. But that's also what's really cool about the field. You get to be on the cutting edge, and you get to be on the forefront, and it never really gets stale and stagnant. You know, it's always moving. It keeps things pretty interesting, I think. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And I hope this sort of gave you some more insight into the deep realm that is security. And yeah, definitely going to be making more videos, maybe more on this topic as well. Maybe getting a bit more hands-on with certain things if that might be of interest to you guys. Just let me know in the comment section below. But that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video.